Chengdu flight makes emergency landing due to mid-air turbulence, passengers scream. Foshan city's Nanshan town government publicizes list of lying flat individuals, drawing attention. Following last year's missteps, China International Capital Corporation releases top 10 predictions for 2024. 2024 New Year sees pessimism among mainland Chinese regarding economic expectations. Expert, civil turmoil and coups will make 2024 a tense year for Xi Jinping. It's all covered in today's China Truths. Chengdu flight makes emergency landing due to mid-air turbulence, passengers scream. On New Year's Day, Chengdu Airlines flight EU-2403 from Chengdu to Guiyang was forced to make an emergency landing at Jinyi Airport due to a thunderstorm. The aircraft experienced intense turbulence for nearly an hour, causing widespread panic among passengers, who screamed in fear. The plane's intercom system continuously called for medical personnel. Video footage revealed the airplane's cabin undergoing violent shaking, with passenger seats and items like water cups on tables vibrating severely. A female passenger described the ordeal as an hour-long roller coaster ride. Every 10 or 20 minutes, the plane attempted to land, causing screams from everyone aboard. 2 people couldn't breathe, another likely had a heart attack. The plane's PA system continuously sought medical staff. After reaching Jinyi Airport, at least 10 passengers reported their clothes were completely drenched. The following morning, January 2nd, a staff member at Jinyi Xinzhou Airport confirmed the emergency landing. They cited the thunderstorms in Guiyang as the reason for the diversion. The incident resonated with many online, with comments reflecting on the experience. One user poignantly remarked that an incident like this on the first day of the new year will be etched in memory forever. Foshan city's Nanshan town government publicizes list of lying flat individuals, drawing attention. Recently, in Nanshan town, Foshan, Guangdong, a list titled 2023 Lying Flat Leisure Personnel Preliminary List was publicized, drawing significant attention. This list, announced on December 28 by the local government, was based on the Nanshan town lying flat leisure personnel and bottom position encouragement personnel handling procedures. It involved a process of interviews, investigations, and reviews by the leadership group responsible for style and efficiency. Ultimately, 8 individuals were selected by the town's party committee to be on this preliminary list for the year 2023. A town government official clarified that from about 300 staff members, 8 were chosen through a selection process. The official emphasized that these individuals were not completely inactive but were considered relatively less effective. On January 1st, Jimu News reached out to one of the 8 individuals on the list, who refrained from discussing the details. Shang Chongsheng, deputy director and distinguished professor at Wuhan University's Research Center for Urban Safety and Social Management, expressed that lying flat might be more of a literary expression rather than a term used in policy or law. He raised concerns about the lack of clear definitions and standards for categorizing individuals as lying flat or not, and cautioned that such policy implementation might be prone to errors and misjudgments. Xiao Lanjian, a former mainland media professional, commented on social media platform X, interpreting the news as an indicator of cadre infighting and the onset of chaos, likening it to the Fengqiao model where grassroots-level spoofing and mutual criticism prevail. The Fengqiao experience is a concept from the Mao Zedong era, named after Fengqiao Township in Juji, Zhejiang Province. It represents a method of social and political governance where local masses were mobilized to directly rectify perceived reactionary elements within society. This approach emphasized mass participation in enforcing the dictatorship over class enemies. Despite being seen as largely incompatible with modern China, which claims to be governed by law and constitutional rule, the Fengqiao experience has resurfaced prominently under Xi Jinping's leadership. It has been integrated into the official discourse concerning rule of law and public security. Following last year's missteps, China International Capital Corporation releases top 10 predictions for 2024. Recently, amidst the gloomy economic predictions for mainland China in 2024, the first Chinese foreign joint venture investment bank in mainland China, China International Capital Corporation Limited, CICC, has again released its forecast for 2024. In the previous year, 6 top 10 annual forecasts were completely off the mark. These 10 predictions included: stabilization and recovery of the Chinese economy, bullish on A shares, the U.S. economy facing recession, bearish on U.S. stocks, bullish on Hong Kong stocks, appreciation of the Chinese yuan, bearish on the U.S. dollar, decline in U.S. inflation, rebound in China's real estate market, bullish on leading Chinese securities firms. On January 2nd, Mainland senior media personality Gao Yu commented on social media platform X, CICC now held by CCB Investment controlled by the state-owned China Construction Bank. Its main business is to provide domestic and overseas financing and listing services for large state-owned enterprises in mainland China. It has been making annual top 10 predictions for many years. In 2022, 9 out of its 10 predictions were wrong, and in 2023, all 10 predictions failed. This year's 10 predictions are here again, with many overlaps with those of 2023, seemingly not learning from past mistakes. He added, "A year flies by in the blink of an eye, and by the end of the year, let's see whether CICC is a wise investment firm or just a bragger with no real insight." Real estate economist and Weibo influencer Deng Haoji replied, "Since the pandemic began, they have been bearish on U.S. stocks for 4 consecutive years, even predicting that its bubble would burst, causing global financial issues. As a result, they adopted a comprehensive tightening financial defense policy. But look at the U.S. stocks and A shares over these years." One internet user commented, "Everyone says that CICC and CITIC's predictions should be read in reverse. Will 2024 be the year to do so?" 2024 New Year sees pessimism among mainland Chinese regarding economic expectations. In 2023, the mainland Chinese economy faced a downturn, marked by collapsing real estate companies and declines in stock and foreign exchange markets. This crisis led to a severe financial strain for the Chinese Communist Party and prompted both central and local governments to stress the need for austerity. Amidst these challenges, many in mainland China are pessimistic about their economic future, feeling that life has been difficult since the CCP's rise to power, with the situation now worsening. Mr. Jiang from Liaoning conveyed to NTD television, "The common people didn't sense the festive spirit of the new year and are pessimistic about 2024. The CCP's promises of achieving communism and shared prosperity are deceptive. The party and its corrupt officials and privileged groups have prospered first. Do they care about ordinary people? They're telling us to endure hardship now, but when have we ever lived well? Ever since the CCP took power, we've never had good days." Mr. Huang, a mainland Chinese media professional, observed that the escalating economic crisis could lead to social unrest. He remarked, "The outlook is bleak. Foreign businesses are leaving, and private enterprises are failing. The public sentiment is gloomy, and if policies don't improve, we face rising unemployment, widespread hunger, and potential instability." Mr. Peng, a business owner in Tianjin, said that he avoids spending and is forced to live frugally. In 2023, there was an excess of unemployment and bankruptcy across multiple sectors. "Through my business, I interact with a range of industries, most of which are in decline, making profitability challenging. The overall trend and macroeconomic environment are far from promising. We're entering an era where each year is worse than the last." Expert, civil turmoil and coups will make 2024 a tense year for Xi Jinping. On January 2nd, Associate Professor Feng Chongyi from the University of Technology Sydney, in an exclusive interview with the Epoch Times, expressed that there is no likelihood of an economic turnaround in China for the year 2024. It's severely impacting the livelihoods within the country, particularly among the youth who are struggling to find employment. This is fueling increasing bitterness. He believes that this situation will lead to a further escalation in public dissatisfaction. Over the past year, with the rising unemployment among the youth, a notable number of young Chinese have resorted to a stance of lying flat, which often involves depending financially on parents or assuming the role of full-time children. However, Feng Chongyi foresees a shift in this trend as the situation evolves. According to him, lying flat is the form of passive resistance. However, if the economic situation fails to improve and personal savings run out, the option to simply lie flat will become unfeasible. We can expect to see a rise in common public resistance, taking on various forms. CCP espionage runs the country, sparks expected everywhere. Recently, the CCP's Political and Legal Committee and the Ministry of Public Security have been vocal about social stability, stepping up efforts to suppress civil resistance. Uncharacteristically, the Ministry of State Security has also become involved in economic management and has issued a national secrecy checklist. Feng Chongmi expressed that Xi Jinping's government is essentially ruling through espionage, a situation that symbolizes the country's deviation from normal state functions. He highlighted that the CCP, having already established urban and rural management teams, has created the Central Social Work Department to design roles aimed at curbing civil dissent, potentially leading to increased social conflict. This year, the intensity of conflicts between officials and citizens will escalate. Previously, Feng had mentioned to the Epoch Times that transformative change in China would need a confluence of shifts among the people, the military, and the government. On January 2, he told the Epoch Times that while it's uncertain whether this year will bring about a widespread, national level of civil resistance, localized resistance is inevitable. Sparks of dissent will be seen everywhere, but whether they will ignite a widespread movement or how far it will develop remains to be seen. Xi seeking scapegoats may lead to disaster within, turbulent undercurrents in Zhongnanhai. Regarding a coup, Feng Chongmi mentioned that new conflicts among the populace could trigger fresh upheavals within the Chinese government. He said, last year, individuals from the Rocket Army, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and the Ministry of National Defense vanished mysteriously, with no signs of them alive or dead. This year, we anticipate even more significant disturbances, involving higher-ranking officials. The exact nature of these events is uncertain, but a clear trend is the emergence of turbulent undercurrents within Zhongnanhai. Feng speculated that conflicts within Xi's military faction and violent incidents between Xi and his subordinates are likely to commence. Xi's continual search for scapegoats to bear the blame will eventually breed discontent among his close associates, possibly leading to internal disaster. Such a scenario is plausible. Regime change inevitable, Xi Jinping is restless as sitting on pins and needles. During the CCP Politburo's Special Democratic Life meeting from December 21 to 22, 2023, Xi Jinping emphasized the importance of addressing contradictions and problems by focusing on preventing and mitigating political risks, including the need to timely eliminate all kinds of political hidden dangers, to prevent non-political risks from transforming into political risks. Feng Chongmi interpreted this official statement as an acknowledgement of the need to prevent non-political incidents from turning into political events. He explained that non-political events encompass a broad range of issues such as stock market crashes, real estate problems, and other economic and social matters, while political events are typified by movements like the White Paper Revolution, which demand Xi Jinping's resignation or the fall of the Communist Party, targeting Xi and the CCP directly with the aim of overthrowing them. Xi Jinping's goal, according to Feng, is to prevent non-political protests from escalating into political movements, effectively averting a color revolution. However, when a true moment of governmental change arrives, marked by widespread popular resistance, it will be unstoppable. Feng remarked, the communist regime, being one of the few remaining worldwide, would be unable to suppress a rebellion akin to the Tiananmen Square massacre of 1989. At that time, veteran military leaders like Deng Xiaoping were still in power, and the public harbored illusions about the regime. These factors no longer exist. In the event of another color revolution, the Communist Party would be overthrown, fulfilling the objective of toppling Xi and dismantling the CCP. Hence, it's conceivable that Xi Jinping is extremely anxious and uneasy. Don't forget to leave a comment in the section below to share your opinions on today's topic with us. Make sure to like and subscribe to see more interesting topics from China Truths.